Hello, I'm back! And welcome to another edition of Nattie's Cocktail Minute. Today is Summer Travel Edition. I've got my Aperol Spritz here. It's my favorite summer cocktail. So, let's talk about some travel. Alright, how about now? Now we good? Okay, so I know we're already in the full swing of summer, but maybe you're planning a late summer trip or a fall trip. All the trips are good. So where do you want to go? Where can you go? You might be asking yourself. It is absolutely true. You can stay local, travel around, your home state, home country, around the US. That is always a great option. But if you're feeling a little adventurous and you are fully vaccinated, you can now travel internationally. Countries you can go to for fully vaccinated human beings are, let's take a look at the list here: Mexico, Ecuador, Bahamas, Belize, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Costa Rica, Iceland, Ireland, France, Italy, Greece, basically most of Western Europe, Kenya, Namibia, Nepal, Peru, South Africa, and Thailand. That's pretty good. There's a lot. I mean, considering. Keep in mind, rules are changing by the day, so obviously you'll need to do some research to find out if the country you want to go to, what their rules are, what their regulations are. But if you've got a bucket list destination that you've been waiting to go to, this is probably the time to go. There are still not a ton of people traveling. So that means less crowds, and that also means you will be a part of, bringing back tourist revenue to that destination, which is always great. So go out into the world, spend those tourist dollars, bring back economies. It's all for the greater good, and you'll have a lot of fun doing it. Alright, let's talk about some of the realities of international travel right now, because it is a bit different than, in the before times. You'll need to do a lot of research. Rules and regulations are constantly changing, situations are changing, and you just need to stay up to date on what is happening, where you plan to be going, basically. It is a bit more of a process, but I think it's worth it. Also, masks are still most definitely a thing. Literally, everywhere. In the airports, on the airplanes, public transportation, taxis, depending on where you are, indoors, outdoors, people are still wearing masks everywhere in the world. I mean, they might not be in your hometown or my hometown, but the rest of the world is still wearing masks, and that's just a reality. You're gonna have to suck it up and wear a mask. Don't be that annoying tourist who refuse to wear a mask. Just don't do it. Even if you're vaccinated, you'll still have to get a negative COVID test to come back to the US. So before flying home, you'll have to have a negative COVID test within 3 days of your flight. That is just the policy set by the US. That's just another thing you have to do now, regardless if you're vaccinated or not. You can check the CDC's website for all the official rules on this, because again, stuff changes all the time. Yeah, it's just like a lot of keeping up with everything to travel right now. And that brings me to our first big international trip in, a year and a half. Yeah, that's nuts, right? We went to Ecuador and we spent a whole month there traveling around, seeing all the sights, doing all the things. I do feel like it was fairly easy to travel there. So even though half the country is vaccinated, everybody's still wearing masks indoors, outdoors, all the time, unless you're eating or hiking way out in the wilderness by yourself. It just seems to be the cultural thing to do. They care about each other. However, flights were not great. I feel like there's only a couple flights to and from Ecuador a day, and they're not at great times. Our flight home was at 2:30 in the morning. Who planned that? That's awful. Ecuador is also super big on sanitizing everything. So there's sanitation stations everywhere, with Purell little pumps. You're expected to like sanitize your hands when you walk into a store, when you get into a taxi cab, when you go into a restaurant, like literally any public place. They're like sanitizing everything. Like I saw them even like sanitize the money before handing me change, which seems like a little overboard, but you know, whatever. You do you, sanitize your money. Also, that's probably a good idea because money is disgusting. So anyways, I will be talking a whole lot more about our Ecuador trip because we went all over. We climbed mountains, we went to the Galapagos, we went scuba diving, we did a whole lot of things. So stay tuned for that. And per usual, I have a lot to share because I can't shut up. So like, subscribe, hit that little bell thingy so you get a notification when I post more of our adventures. And with that, happy Friday, cheers, and have a great weekend.